The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
That's been following the case very closely. Jimmy Williams is with us. Jimmy, great to see you tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Let me ask you, you've been in the middle of this. I'm trying to put it all together. Are you from the area?
Hey everybody, it's Mike from Profiling Evil, and I'm here with Dolly Vision at CrimeCon 2024.
Sorry, I was muted. What is up, YouTube? It is good to see my beautiful people jumping in the chat room. Thank you, Vincent, for gifting the $5 memberships to start it off. Now, look, you know the routine, guys. Leave your DNA on that like button just in case Karen Reed backs over you at 24 miles an hour, okay? She's still on the loose, doing her thing. And there's been some updates in the case today. We're going to go over some of that stuff. You may hear a little bit of background noise. It is so hot, so humid here in Virginia, and my ACs are barely keeping up. So I have a fan blowing on me today. Hopefully, it's not too bad for you guys. All right. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the Karen Reed, what is going on in the Karen Reed case. We're also going to be talking about the Sebastian Rogers case. You know, no clues. is a big clue. Okay, and there ain't a whole lot of clues coming out in that case, but we're just going to discuss it anyway. So, Karen Reed, just a few days ago, like actually a week ago, she was found, her case was a mistrial. The jury couldn't come to a decision on was she innocent or was she guilty. But here's the thing, the her lawyers putting in a motion to dismiss, because they're saying that since the jury has been out and called it a mistrial, that they have contacted the defense team and said that they had it 12-0 to acquit for the second degree murder charge and the manslaughter charge. The only charge they couldn't come to agreement on was the DUI. Okay, so her lawyer, what is it, Alan Jackson, and Yeti or whatever his name is, they put this motion in to dismiss. They're going to argue that the jury didn't have a clear picture that they could acquit her on these charges, find her not guilty on these two charges, and be hung on the DUI. So their next court appearance is the 22nd, and that is to schedule the new trial. And they're talking about the new trial for Karen Reed could come as early as October. So, that's not very long to get your stuff back in order, because, in the very beginning, the prosecution was asking for more time on their case, to build their case. And they wasn't really allowed that time that they needed to build the case. So, you would think they would take their time and build a little bit more solid case against Karen Reed. Now, there was also another court today, and a lot of the Karen Reed supporters showed up for that, and that was Proctor, to find out what was going to happen to him, because, he said some pretty foul things about Karen Reed, like, I wish she would unalive herself, things like that. Stuff as a professional law enforcement officer, state trooper, you shouldn't be saying, okay? You just should not be saying those things. And he did. So, of course, he had to go in front of his little trial that he had going to see what they were going to do to discipline him for what he said in the Karen Reed case. Now, they have suspended Proctor without pay. Okay, he is suspended. They did not terminate him. They didn't do any of those things. Right now, he's just suspended for a couple weeks without pay, and I'm sure they're going to put him somewhere where he can't really interfere in a criminal investigation or do such a poor, shitty job in the investigation. And I believe this is a lot of the reason that Karen Walt, I truly believe that she is guilty of backing over John O'Keefe. There's no reason for anybody else to want to kill John O'Keefe that night. And I mean, there's a possibility that he could have failed, but that don't explain the tail light pieces on the clothing. Now, I know what you're going to say for all you free Karen Reed people in here. You're going to say, Dolly, they planted that evidence. Proctor's a bad cop. Just because you talk crazy or you say shitty things, you know what guys call that? We call that locker room talk. When he was saying, I ain't found no booby pictures yet and stuff. It's just guys being guys. Does that mean they didn't investigate and they planted evidence? Absolutely not. Okay. Just because these men said some foul dude type stuff. Now, every woman in here, you got a son, a brother, or dad. I'm sure over time y'all have heard a little locker room talk. Okay. A little inappropriate things that men will say. Okay. Just because they wear a badge don't mean they ain't men. Okay. They're going to say some goofy men type stuff. And this high powered lawyer stuff, we live in a society where basically you can buy your freedom. Okay. You can absolutely buy your freedom. And we seen she dropped a lot of money, and I hear she's bringing in another high dollar attorney. Okay. Another one. Like, I don't know what Karen Reed did raise a lot of money. She raised over $400,000. Okay. That ain't counting what, Turtle Boy raised over 100. So in this whole thing, between them, they've done raised over $500,000 to defend their cases. Which Karen Reed, I heard her attorney was $250,000 alone for the one, not accounting what Yannetti cost her. And and now it looks like they're going to have to retry this. Now, listen, this motion to dismiss, I believe this is the last Hail Mary of Alan Jackson. Okay, he's throwing a Hail Mary, hoping they're going to dismiss this stuff, but they're not naming the other jurors. And they said only 3 came forward. Now, if 12 of them would have came forward, you may have something. But with only 3 of these jurors coming forward, and they're not releasing the names of the other jurors, and they told them their service is done, they're not going to call them back to court to try to figure out what is going down. Basically, their next court dates are 22nd. I think they're going to rule against the motion to dismiss. October, they're most likely going to bring charges back up on Karen Reed. She will be sitting up in court again, and we will be going through this whole cycle once again. We still got people out there harassing witnesses, starting trouble, spreading misinformation, attacking the family. One YouTuber, Baby Gap, okay, attacking the people, calling them stupid. And these are family members of a dead officer that don't have nothing to do with it. Why these people are attacking Paul O'Keefe, I didn't follow this case, but I hope the man that said those things learns a little something. Words said mean something. Maybe next case they will refrain. Absolutely, Christy Ford. It was very unprofessional. One of the cops said she had doo-doo falling out her for JJ. Now tell me that ain't super unprofessional. That don't mean they didn't do their job. It's just they had dirty mouths, and they didn't suspect their cell phones to get called into court, and they were going to be going through their personal messages like that. That don't happen in most cases, but it happened in this case. And when they went through those messages, they were horrible. Them cops hurt the case so bad, so bad. I think it would have been a straight slam dunk if it wasn't for that. Now, this gives them a little more time, the prosecutors, to get their shit together to try to bring justice for the O'Keefe family. We're going to watch a little bit of stuff about it today, Court TV. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this video up. Is that fan too loud in the mic for you guys? Does it sound completely horrible? Because if not, I can turn it off, but it's going to be a little bit hotter on me if I do. So let me share the screen. All right, let's blow this up and let's get into it.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ted Rollins outside the courthouse in Santa Fe, New Mexico, covering the Alec Baldwin case. But we want to switch gears momentarily here for some breaking news out of New England in the state of Massachusetts in the case of Karen Reed, the one we just finished up here on Court TV. The defense has filed a motion asking for 2 of the top charges against Karen Reed to be thrown out. And the reason they are asking it in this motion that they filed is because it has come to their attention that the jury had a firm 12-0 agreement that Reed was not guilty of 2 of the 3.
I don't believe that. They're saying they came back not, hung up on a DUI. I don't believe she had a 12-0 jury at all. That ain't what the letter sounded like.
Charges against her, including that top charge of second-degree murder. According to Alan Jackson and David Yannetti, the lawyers, of course, representing Karen Reed, who filed this motion, they say that jurors got a hold of them after hearing reports about the supposed juror split. We've heard all kinds of things. If you've been on social media, people are saying, oh, it was, 6-6, or it was this, that. They're saying, yes, be kind. I've seen that. To them, and that the jury had unanimous verdicts of 12-0 on the top 2 charges. But apparently, what I'm reading here is they didn't put it together that they could have come back with those verdicts and said not guilty, and hung on that third count. Let's bring in Jessica Ehrlich to discuss this. This is interesting, Jessica, because we got the jury coming into the courtroom saying we are undecided. We can't come to a unanimous decision if this is true.
That's what it was reported in the beginning, that it was 10-2 guilty. Okay. They're saying it's 12-0 not guilty. I don't believe that, because all the jurors have not been named. So they're hearing this from 3 jurors. I don't believe it.
True. Does the defense have a solid motion here to basically dismiss these charges? Because if indeed the jury was in agreement 12-0, they effectively came to a verdict on those.
No, they didn't. They never decided. If they didn't decide and they were at 12-0, even then they still didn't decide because they didn't put it on the paper. So you can't say, you never know. A juror at one moment could have changed their mind. So without it being on paper, without it being official, it don't count.
Those top 2 charges.
Yes, I mean, I'm dying to get my hands on their motion, because I would really like to see, from a legal analysis standpoint, if there are precedents in the state of Massachusetts that they're able to cite to in this matter. I mean, it's certainly from a public policy standpoint, we know that, for all courts across the country, you always want to have, especially after a lengthy trial like this, and it's been to the jury, it behooves everyone, and it is sort of the public policy standpoint, that you want the jury to at least come back on 1 or 2 of the issues, to avoid a mistrial. You really want to do everything you can to avoid the situation that we had here when they had a hung jury.
Yeah, but they can't go back and change it. You see what I'm saying? They can't go back and change it right now. What's done is done. They didn't mark her as innocent. Even if they were 12-0, they're not the jury on the new case. So it will be a new jury picked. You're not going to overturn it without bringing in all the juries, having to hear from all the jurors. They're not going to do that. They're already scheduling this for a new trial. She's hating it.
So I definitely think from that standpoint, it's a very strong argument to make. The question is, in terms of Massachusetts, will the judge be able to call the jury back and feel that, they're able to take this vote given everything that's happened since they were dismissed? So it will be very interesting to see. I mean, definitely quite a turn of events here. I mean, we've been following this for a long time, as you know, and it is fascinating, and actually does not surprise me at all that the jury did have very strong opinions about those first 2. And you and I were talking when remember, there were so many issues with the jury instructions in this case, that we knew that something was going to happen for sure. I mean, this was just very confusing for the jury. They had to redo the forms. So really, I'm not surprised that the jury came back.
Well, I mean, it kind of at this point is what it is. We know they're going to retry her. The motion to dismiss is just, like I said, a Hail Mary. They're never going to dismiss it. Right? So they're going to select a new jury. They had a little bit of time. They're going to come in here with where I think they hurt themselves is they didn't do a reenactment of how it could have happened. I think they're going to be a little more prepared this time in October. And she goes in front of the gauntlet again. Like it or not, hold free Karen read signs all you want. They're not going to go back and change what the jury did without, because the jury's already been said that they're not going to say who the jury is. So you don't know who the other members of the jury are. You can't go question those people. So you're getting something from 3 people, not from 12. So it ain't going to change nothing, I don't think.
On this, and it's very interesting that the jury actually reached out to the defense on this. I'm also curious as to how that transpired and what was going on there, that conversation was had.
I'm sure Alan Jackson reached out to one of them, and he's using that, they reached out to me shit, okay? They didn't reach out to them. The defense lawyers reached out to the jury members.
And there has been so much misinformation because of the interest levels and the different bloggers that have jumped into this full force. It'd be, in terms of a remedy here, if the court really wants to find out, you don't just go by what the defense says, obviously, and you can't really just go by with what 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the jurors told.
Exactly. You just heard him repeat what I said. It's done. It's like a baseball game. Once the game's over, they can't go back and say who the winner or the loser is. You can replay the game. Okay, you can replay the game, and that's what's going to happen. Like I said, they got 3 people saying this, but they don't have all the people saying this, and they're not going to give all the people the opportunity to say that because their names and have already been protected. So what they're going to do is deny this motion. She is going to be charged with second-degree murder, just like Paul O'Keefe said. You ain't done yet, lady. You ain't done.
Hold the defense. Great. Juror number 4 believes that it was 12-0. Don't you have to? Doesn't the court have to do a full investigation and contact all 12 of those sitting jurors to validate this claim from the defense and then make a decision after establishing that this is in fact true?
They ain't going to do that. Their names have already been protected. They're not going to do that. She said their services were done. That came from Judge Bev.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how they, wrote their argument. I think certainly the judge would speak with the foreman because really the foreman is supposed to be the spokesperson for the entire jury. So if the judge speaks to the foreman, if they even go that far, I mean, I don't know that it's really a matter of saying, is what the defense saying true? It's also a procedural.
Trust me, they're not going to go back and change the decision of the court. They're not going to do that. I mean, I'm willing. I can't bet up here, but if I was a betting man, I would bet they're not going to change the decision of the court. They already got a date for the 22nd. They're already planning it for October. So it's going down.
Thing is, can they even bring the jury back after they've been dismissed? Would this even be allowed from a just, jurisprudence, procedural Massachusetts law standpoint to even whether the judge would be able to interact with the jurors on that matter, whether the court would. I mean, this is a very unusual situation.
See?
But I would say definitely they would start with the foreman because the foreman is supposed to be the spokesperson of the entire jury.
They ain't going to change the results of the case. They can't go back and get the jurors that's home. That's right. Thank you, Christy. Also, Turtle Gang, thank you for gifting the 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Turtle Gang, make sure you give her a big virtual hug and thank her. But yeah, they're not going to go back and reset anything, call these people back in. It ended in a mistrial. They should have did the right thing first. If they had any questions, they could have easily asked the court. They didn't have any problem asking the judge any other questions or delivering notes to the judge. So at this point, if I was a prosecutor, I argue they had their chance. They could have argued this right in court when the verdict was read and everything, and they didn't. So at that point, it starts over. You go in front of a new jury, and hopefully they'll find you 12-0, but I doubt that.
Jury body, they were elected by the jury, and they should be able to sort of speak to that. Now, I don't know whether in the motion the defense spoke to the foreman, and the foreman was the person who said we had a unanimous decision on the first 2 counts, but could not go further and didn't realize and didn't understand that that was possible for us to make a decision on, because also there should be notes and everything kept by the foreman as to what actually transpired. It's just a very, very unusual and difficult situation. I mean,
It ain't that difficult. Bev went over the rules. She said, if you don't check the box, it means not guilty. Remember? They were like, oh, the not guilty stuff's not up there. She said, well, you check the box for guilty. If you don't check the box, it means not guilty. She clearly went over the rules with the jurors. Shit, I even remember the rules. Okay, I remember what she said. So she was clear about the rules to that paperwork, because remember they were bitching about the paperwork in the beginning? And she said, well, if they don't check it, it means not guilty. If they had a question, they could have asked her. This is starting over. I mean, listen, how many times do people catch the Hail Mary? Not many, because that's what this is. So she'll be retried. But, you know, for all you can read people out there, you can hope and pray that this goes down like this, and you might get a miracle, right? But the odds are she's going to be retried, and we'll see.
Can see the, you know, why from a public policy standpoint, it is what we want to avoid, having to do this entire enormous trial over again on all counts. But I mean, you know, I'm dying to read.
But was it really a verdict if they told the judge that they could not come to a verdict? Was it a verdict?
Well,
they may, you know, if what
they knew they could vote guilty on one charge and not the other. The judge explained everything to them, right? They had the dude back there to help them with it. If they had any questions, they could just easily ask the judge. They ended hung. It's going to stay that way until they select a new jury. You can't go back and change what already happened. Dolly, I just got a camper truck ad. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I've been checking out a lot of camper truck stuff. Maybe that's why y'all got the ads. I don't know.
They're saying is true. If what the defense, what they got from these jurors is true, that they all agreed 12-0. All right, definitely not murder too. Definitely not intoxicated.
Well, we heard in the very beginning that it was on manslaughter. Okay. That they couldn't find her guilty on 2, that she wasn't even facing second-degree murder, right? Only manslaughter is what they were good on. Now, did that mean they need to dismiss the second-degree murder? I don't know, but they said they were 10-2 on manslaughter from my original understanding. Now you got jurors saying crazy shit. So I don't think they're going to change anything. I think they're just going to select a new jury and start it over. They don't care about how much money it costs Karen Reed.
Leaving the scene of the accident. Then they should have put that down on the verdict form, and that those were verdicts. Absolutely. Correct? And that's a mistake possibly from this jury. But how do you remedy that?
You redo it.
I mean, I think that is the ultimate question. And it's certainly going to be a matter of law and precedent. I'm not sure that there's a lot of precedent in Massachusetts that I'm aware of that would actually give the judge a lot of room here in terms of where to go.
See, there ain't really much the judge can do. You hear her saying it. Once it's decided, it's decided. They're not going to drop those charges, I don't believe, at all. And they're not going to pull in the other 8 jurors, okay? Because at this point, you know, them jurors have even been siding with the defense. Are they even credible at this point? I would say no. I would say that it's going to go just as planned, just as they say they were. They're going to go in there. They're going to hear the motion on the 22nd. They're going to deny the motion. They're going to set up the court date for October. And she will be back in court going the same thing with right there with Paul O'Keefe. But this time I believe Paul O'Keefe is going to have a lot more support. Okay. I believe because he was asking for support. And I think once there's the protesters are out there, even in numbers, they're not going to be able to sway the jury like they did, because that's what they're out there trying to do, is sway the jury. So how can you have a fair trial when you got 500 people outside the court screaming free Karen Reed? Right? What about the 500 people that believe she was guilty but didn't show up? You see what I'm saying? But now I believe Paul O'Keefe's going to have a ton of people show up for this second trial, because I know this. I'm going to be there. My turtles are going to be there. I'm going to be there in full force this time, dressed in all blue like a Crip. Okay? I'm going to be out there Crip dancing right in the street.
I mean, I know even with some of the issues with the form, it was unlikely that they were going to change the form. Then she reviewed the various arguments and came back. I'm
already planning my trip. So I know, I'm pretty sure in my head, I know what's going to go down. So I'm damn sure going to be there for it. You can believe that. Okay. So I might even pop up there the 22nd for the motion hearing.
So this is really sort of one of those arguments. Certainly, even if the judge says no, the jury was dismissed, this is something that, they can try to bring up. I think
they sent those jurors home. They cannot bring them back. They have watched all these news reports and so on. They are tainted now. They didn't check the not guilty box, period. They'll have a redo. I agree with you, Miss Ford. I agree 100% with you. And I know that's going to go down. I think that's going to go down. But her supporters are, they're praying for this Hail Mary that they'll catch it. But that's not going to happen. There's no way to go back and check that. And like I just seen the thing on Court TV where they're protecting the identities of these people. Usually after 10 days, they'll release the identity. But there is a threat because there's been harassment in this case already, and they're scared for the jury. So this jury's identity is not even going to come out. So they won't be able to contact the other jurors, the defense, and the court's definitely not going to contact them. Their service was done in the case. That's what they were told. So even if there was a mistake, they're going to have to run it back.
In their appeals and in everything else, that this was, a tainted trial from the get-go, and especially given the fact that the jury was confused as to what their instructions were.
Let me tell you something. Maybe there in Boston, it's like that, but Canton is a little nowhere town where everybody is 80 years old. Okay, they look like they all left the bingo hall. There ain't no gangsters in the whole place. Okay, I didn't see one. So this is probably the safest place in America. Okay, it's filled with senior citizens and damn depends. It's like it's the oldest crowd in the history of free anybody. Okay, I just hate to say that. I never felt in danger. There could be 500 of them out there and just me, and I would feel safe. What is a damn 75-year-old man going to do to me? An 80-year-old woman? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing going to happen to me out there.
We know that there was confusion around what the forum was, and that led to the situation that they were in, and therefore it should be, tossed out.
Most of these people out there, they're looking for a place to die. They're like, look, that patch of grass right there looks like a good place to just to fall over and croak. That's what, I mean, there's some younger people out there, they're out there holding their grandparents up. They don't want their grandparents to collapse out there. I've been looking around like, man, these are somebody's grandparents. They should be hanging out with their grandkids.
So this is going to be a really interesting, I'm dying to hear the arguments on this.
But I know this, I'm showing up to stand beside Paul O'Keefe. I back the men in blue in this one. The families that are being destroyed out there, I stand with them, So I'll be rocking my blue. I don't even own a whole bunch of shit that's blue, but you can believe by the 22nd, I'll have all my blue on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just reading parts of this motion, it
Plus, blue makes my eyes pop. You know what I'm saying? Pink, I don't really look good in pink, so I had to do it. I don't really got a dog in this fight. So, I just like the color blue better. All right.
It's not clear that they have definitive evidence. They're getting it from a juror that reached out after seeing inaccurate reports in the media about
tainted jury now. You're right. They can't bring them back. They can't bring that jury back. They can't ask them nothing. Actually, that's not true, Dolly. It is illegal to contact jurors in Massachusetts. They always seal the names. No, they don't. No, they don't always seal the names, because I just watched a whole damn thing on the names of jurors and other jurors' names that have been released. The only time they don't release them is when there's a threat to the jury. So that's why they're not releasing them in this one. Okay, I did do my research on that one. All right, and that's what that's what they're saying.
The split. And
I rock with Paul O'Keefe. The dude seems like the most genuine dude on the planet. His brother was a good guy. He was damn near a saint. Look, no criminal record, adopted kids. That dude right there. How can you boo his mama? How can you be mean to his family? He was out there serving and protecting and got ran over. And they want to boo the parents of it. That's why Dolly's going out there in blue. You know what I'm saying? If they had never booed his mama, I would be out there neutral. You know what I'm saying? I have a Dolly Vision shirt on. But hell nah. I'm going to be having a damn Karen Reed's a Murderer shirt on in blue. I might even take some to hand out.
There needs to be, one would think, more investigation before a judge.
That was my only beef in this whole thing. I honestly swear there was a possibility that Karen Reed's innocent, but the way they treated their mama, and I know that ain't no reason to convict Karen Reed, okay, because of how the idiots are outside that building. But did they listen? I joined the Free Karen Reed groups and the John O'Keefe groups, and I see so much foul stuff about. They were posting pictures today of Paul O'Keefe's wife calling her a whore and all kinds of things. Like, I mean, when I say they're attacking this family, I mean they're viciously attacking this family, accusing people of murder that ain't hurt nobody, trying to destroy the business. Saying that you could buy drugs at the pizza shop. I've seen it all, right? So, you're trying to destroy this man's business. He didn't even do it. He's just family members to a person there. It is almost like, I can't believe how much Kool-Aid. Listen, and everybody I met, and even in Canton, Boston, super nice people. Like, you see maybe out there for Karen Reed, there was 500 people, right? But you got to remember, there's thousands and thousands of people in Canton. They're not all crazy, okay? They're not all like that. They're not all pink and Kool-Aid drinking. I met so many cool people while I was there. I was thinking, man, this is a cool ass place with a lot of cool ass people. The only way I can see something is I'm missing something. I have been going back, and watching stuff that's going on with the police in Boston to see how much corruption in that area there is. And I've been finding stuff pretty easily. So I've still been trying to keep an open mind, even though I do think Karen Reed did it. I'm like, man, there's a reason there's 500 people out here. Okay. I'm assuming all 500 of them people didn't drink all the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason. I know some people out there supporting other people, like, kids showing up with their moms and grandmas. So I'm just thinking, can all these people really be that convinced? And if they are, there's something I'm missing. Yeah, Dolly, I don't think you watched the trial. No, I watched all the trial, and then after the trial, I went back and watched some more of it. Okay, so I did watch the trial. Y'all can't get me with that. I did watch it on 2x speed, but I did go back and watch every little single thing I missed. So y'all can't hit me with you didn't watch the trial shit no more. Okay, you're late on that. And I said during the whole stuff, I said I don't think they got enough to convict her. That Lally was an idiot. So, I mean, I agree with some of the Karen Reed supporters out there that the prosecutor is a fucking idiot, and I could have done a better job prosecuting her. But it's about John O'Keefe, and I think people lost sight of that. It's like, if he wanted justice for John O'Keefe, he wouldn't be out there booing his mom and his brother, and y'all wouldn't be posting these things about how his wife's a whore and he's a piece of shit and he got a DUI 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Y'all judging that man from his past, but y'all ain't judging Karen Reed right now. That is so crazy that y'all would try to attack and destroy his family and the family of these people just because you like a lady that if you was on fire, she wouldn't piss on you. She's a stuck-up, boozy bitch. I'm sorry about the language, but that is absolutely true. She don't have no emotion. She don't care. She walks in the court like she's some rock star, like she's Bon Jovi, got security. Ain't nobody want to hurt you, lady. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to hurt her like, oh, let's go get Karen Reed, right? So you walking in like you damn the president with your little presidential wave and shit. Like, there's a dead person. There's a dead fallen officer. And this is supposed to have been a man you loved. You were shitty about the kids, didn't want the kids. You were cheating on the man. And these people out there are women, majority of women. and they support this lady. As a man, I'm like, holy shit, would you support a man if he was doing the same thing? If this was a man that ran over his wife, would you be supporting the same way? Hell no, y'all be out there ready to lynch a dude. Like, let's say this was Dolly and I backed over PJ and I didn't, I'm saying I didn't do it. There'd be 500 women out there with signs, pitchforks, torches burning. It would be nowhere, you wouldn't see no support Dolly shit. I can guarantee you that. If it was a black woman named Shaquita, would it be that? Hell no. I don't know what's wrong with people that, like, they'll overlook all this lady's BS and just support her blindly. Like, we don't care if she's Satan. She didn't do it. Okay. We don't care how bad she is. We're going to get out here and tell her how much we love her. That's why she walks around all cocky like she's the shit. It's because people are treating her like she's something special. She's a regular woman that ran somebody over. Like, that shit even make good sense.
Can do it. There's Judge Ashley Wilcott. She knows what to do in a situation like this. First of all, Judge, your initial thoughts reading this motion. Wow. What should be done here?
Well, first of all, the right thing to do by the defense is to file a motion like this if they have information to believe it's true. But Ted, can I just tell you, the thing that bothered me the most at the end of this trial was nobody asked to poll the jury. This, from a judicial perspective, is why you have to ask to poll a jury, because if they'd done that, they would have known right then and there to figure out what to do next if, in fact, 12 said not guilty of the higher charge. So I don't know the law. I haven't yet had a chance to look at the state law and this state case law, but I would want to look at, if you don't poll the jury, do you?
Well, that's all an opinion. They got to prove a guilty without a reasonable doubt. In my mind, I didn't have a reasonable doubt. I thought she did it. So maybe in your mind she didn't, but here's the thing. Neither one of us or jurors. It don't matter what the hell we think. Okay. It don't matter. We can sit here and say she's innocent, guilty. It don't matter what we think. We ain't the jury. Right. And we don't know if that's true. They can say that. That don't make it true. They've also said that, all these other people killed John O'Keefe. We know that shit ain't true. So the defense's job is to come in there and put some doubt and then just run with some bullshit. That's what all defense attorneys do, right? That's their job, is to create some type of doubt. And if you muddy the water enough, of course you're going to have doubt. It felt like everybody else was on trial but Karen Reed, all right? And when you don't get up there and speak for yourself in a murder trial, come on now. If I was charged with some type of murder, I'd be begging and pleading, swearing up and down I didn't do it. There'd be no way you would keep me off the stand. I'd be like, even if my lawyer said, I don't want you to do it, I would still, especially if I knew I was innocent, I would get up there and let them people know, look, you're about to put away an innocent man. I hope you ask and sleep at night, right? Because I didn't do anything. And then when you find out that I didn't do anything, I'm going to sue the state for millions of dollars. You are convicting the wrong person. I didn't do it. Why can't she get up there and say it? Because she was scared they're going to ask her some tough ass questions. So she avoided it. But it don't matter. They're going to run it back. Okay. And if they find her not guilty, then it is what it is. Even Uncle Vinny thought there was some doubt, Dolly. I know. He kind of was on the Karen Reed side from the very beginning, though. Vinny. All right. Because he's mad about the prosecution and stuff. Yeah, he leaned towards Karen Reed. I mean, that's his opinion. He's human like everybody else. But apparently everybody in that room didn't lean towards Karen Reed. It's one of these ones where a lot of people agree on certain things and a lot of people disagree on a lot of certain things. I just don't believe the conspiracy that these cops killed John O'Keefe with no motive, and the family just loves these people, right? They can't stand Karen Reed. I think the family knows best, okay? That Brian Albert, Jen McCabe, which have been friends with them for years, You know, they sat there as a team on the last day. And I think that was just to show a good sign of unity. Like, hey, we trust these people. We all know it's her. So, and I think once they have a lot more support out there with them at the courthouse, which is coming, okay, y'all can believe that, Karen Reed supporters. There's going to be like Paul O'Keefe got on national TV. He's going to be doing more media. He's going to be asking for help. He's going to be asking for support. And you about to see some shit out in front of that courthouse in Canton, right? It was one side last trial. This time, it's going to be like the damn Braveheart. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be people everywhere on both sides. There's a lot of people that believe that there should be real justice for John O'Keefe. Just as many pink shirts, okay? Just as many as y'all in pink, I'm sure there'll be just as many in blue. And if them girls would have got out there a little bit sooner, I think it would have blew up on the blue side anyway. You know what I'm saying? They just came late. They showed up late, said, all right, let's counter protest. But their stuff would have grew huge. It would have grew huge. And it will, from people all over the damn country. So we'll see it back in court when they run it back. You know, I'll be hanging out in Boston. You know, I like Boston. I like the people in Boston. I like their laws in Boston. So you can believe Dolly will be back in Boston.
You waive any right to raise it down the road. You might. So there are a lot of legal issues. But again, all I can say is, why in the world would you not poll a jury to address this at the time it was happening?
Check this out.
Somebody said, Dolly, did you know there was a body found in Tennessee? Listen, guys, there's bodies found in Tennessee every day, just like every other state in the country. But every time they find a body, that don't mean it's Summer Wells. It don't mean it's Layla Santinella. It don't mean it's Sebastian Rogers. People go missing all the time. People die every day. I mean, there's a lot of dead bodies they find in North Carolina. Like, I guarantee they found more than one today in North Carolina. Just like they find bodies here, they pull shit out the river all the time. There's always somebody dying. So yeah, I'm not surprised, but I don't freak out every time I hear there's a body found, right? Like a lot of people, every time there's a body found in Tennessee, somebody fires up alive. Is it Summer Wells? Okay. That shit could be 10 hours from Ben Hill Road. They'll still be like running Summer Wells shit, Sebastian Rogers stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way the internet works. You know, everybody wants people to watch them. So that's why we get the shit clickbaited to hell. Even mainstream media clickbaits the shit out of people. You know, it's just what it is. There's a billion videos and people just want their videos to get attention. And I understand it. You know, my channel wasn't always, we're close to 60,000, but it's hard to get people to view you. And it gives people that incentive to put bullshit ass titles up. Okay. I don't usually tend to clickbait with my titles. You know, what's my title tonight? Karen Reed, latest defense moves to dismiss. Okay. We're up here talking about Karen Reed, the latest, you know what I'm saying? So it goes right with my title. The Sebastian Rogers Circus. We're going to be discussing a little bit of that in just a few. So, you know, people be like, you clickbait. They'll say my title's a clickbait. And I'm like, nah, usually I talk about what's in my titles unless I run out of time. Like, there'll be sometimes I'll have a few names up there and I'll try to get to everything. But sometimes I get so long-winded on one thing that I don't make it to all of it. But I don't like sit up here and be just like purposely clickbait people, right? I do try to make the thumbnails a little flashy so people click on it because, hey, you want to get the message out. You want people watching. I do want to grow the channel to 100K, and I can't do that without you guys, okay? So I want that little plaque on my wall. I've been working for it for years, right? I just want to hang it up there somewhere. You know, my little, what is it, silver? The little silver button, play button that everybody got that I worked 10 times harder than, and I can't seem to get one. You know what I'm saying? But I will continue to work. It's harder to get that play button than it is to get a degree in college. All right. Some people just blow up on the internet. It's like overnight. I've been grinding these wheels for years. Okay. For years.
going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, 108.
And normally, when a jury comes back and they cannot come to a decision, a mistrial is declared. It's not, on the record in the courtroom polling. What'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think? Because it's a mistrial. But to your point, typically, after the dust settles and both sides want to know what the split is, right? Especially the prosecution. Are you going to retry this case? Well, how about finding out what the split is? And it doesn't seem as though that was done.
It don't really matter what the split was. Okay. Let's say it was 9-4. That'd have been too many jurors. Couldn't have been that. Okay. Let's say it's 9-3. It don't matter what the split was, because when they come back, it's not the same jury. It's a new jury. Okay. And when they come back, they're gonna play their hand a little bit different. You can believe that. They're gonna learn. The prosecution is gonna learn from its mistakes this time. All right, what they needed to present, explain how this happened a little bit better, which I don't think they were really clear in how he got his injuries. And of course, bringing, the right experts that are a little bit better spoken. And the whole thing is they have the same prosecutor do it. They need to bring in a special prosecutor. That's what I say. Because Lally, I don't know if he can get the conviction. I just don't know if he can. And I think that's the difference between somebody that's good, Alan Jackson, and a dude that's working for the state as a prosecutor. There's a reason you're a big time lawyer, because her lawyer is smart as shit. Right? And, he was getting some of that on the side. So he takes payments, cash, PayPal, Venmo, booty calls, right? And all them people that gave me a hard time trying to say that was Alan Jackson's wife. Now we know from Fox News and all these other news outlets that wasn't his wife. That was absolutely 100% Karen Reed. Okay. All right, we got 400 likes. Guys, if you're just tuning in, give me a solid. Hit the like button. It don't matter if you disagree with me. All right. Still like the damn video. There's a lot of people that disagree with me. And I don't hate you because you think, damn, I would like your video. Right? I don't care if you think Karen Reed is innocent. Just like you shouldn't care if I think she's guilty. Right? Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. So don't cheat me out of a like just because you think Karen Reed should be free. That ain't fair. So they're going to retry it. It's going to be a big, big circus. It was, it wasn't as big of a circus because it was one-sided. Alan Jackson was on an airline mechanic before becoming a lawyer. He was an airline mechanic? Okay, I know he's been married 5 times, and last time they seen his wife, she didn't have a damn wedding ring on. Okay, so he might be looking for wife number 6, Karen Reed. I don't know. I heard he's not going to be back to represent her, but I don't know. And I also heard she had another high-dollar attorney that's represented some bad people in the past. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Now we're in a position where you have a juror contacting the defense saying, I was watching the TV and they had it wrong, or I was on social media. That wasn't the split. Jessica, do you have to do a full investigation before you can even think about another step? Because if this isn't accurate, well, then there is no next step. But
I don't think so, because you don't have the other jurors and you're not going to pull in the asked. So they're just going to move on just like they had planned on anyway.
It is. Boy, it's a head scratcher.
I mean, I think, to the judge's point and what you were saying a little bit earlier, to loop on that as well, one of the reasons you're polling the jury afterwards too, from being the advocate standpoint, is what are your arguments that landed well and where were there maybe missteps? So if you do have to retry this
Thank you, Mandy. Jump on the train, girl. Welcome to the Dolly train. Good to see you tonight. Well, they're definitely retrying it. I mean, they're already in the works of that.
Case, to improve, to tighten, all of those sorts of things, where the holes are, not to mention the situation that you're in now. So certainly, again, I have to go back to the foreman of whoever this is. We don't know. I haven't looked at the motion yet to see who it was. You can't make legal decisions based on what is complete hearsay and gossip, right? We know this in general. However, there are, and certainly, I think the judge will be aware, the larger argument here, I don't see a way that they would necessarily reach out to every single juror before they make a ruling on this motion to say whether that is true or false. The question would be, I think put to the foreman at first of, did this situation occur? Was there a vote on this count? And
Thank
then
you,
it was
Aaron.
unanimous. Was
Thank
there
you.
a vote on this count? Where are the records of that? Where is everything of what, that they had as.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Like I said, I just want straight justice. If she's innocent, then she's innocent, right? Because there's nobody that witnessed her do it, right? But the whole booing the family is horrible. That's just my whole biggest problem with this is when they sat out there and booed the family. Now, the family believes that Karen Reed is responsible for the death of their loved one. And these people out there booing, they ain't lose their loved one. That is just sickening and disgusting. And the people that get online and talk about this family when they lost their brother, I had to say, y'all are the biggest pieces of shit on the planet. Because you think something, you're going to attack innocent people. Like that. I mean, just straight up attack.
To what they actually voted on and to how they interpreted and how the foreman interpreted the form at the time.
Judge Ashley, your thoughts on that and what you think should be done now at this point. And another question for you. Isn't it up to the judge at the end of the day to have gotten this information to facilitate the conversation between the parties and the jurors after a mistrial was granted?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to comment on that. Ted, as the judge, honestly, you always have to look at the verdict form to make certain that it is correct in terms of how it's filled out. So arguably, this judge knew that it was 12-0. If in fact it was, we don't know confirmation of that. We just know that's what's in the motion that a juror has said. But the judge should have looked at the form of the verdict. And I guess I wonder, under the laws in that state, again, case specific, should the judge have said, all right, we've got a problem here because this is a not guilty. This is not a hung.
Yeah, well, we don't know that for sure. This is hearsay. It's all hearsay, right? They're not going to change the course of this trial because of some hearsay. And they're not going to call all them people back in there because, just like the caller said, they've been home. They've been watching the news. The jury has been tainted at this point. They're going to retry this case.
Jury on these charges. So that's point one. Point two is, Ted, you're absolutely right. Two things. Number one, the jury could have been influenced by now because they've seen everything, heard everything.
See?
So how do you know when they come back and say, oh no, we all said not guilty? Has there been any bias? Has there been any changing of minds because of everything they've now heard? Number two, a judge can never make a decision without evidence on the record. Period. Legal arguments, evidence on the record. So no matter what, if the judge is willing to consider this, my opinion is there has to be an evidentiary hearing.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think they didn't fill out the form. I think they thought that if what is being alleged here by the defense in this motion is true, I think they got back there. They were going through it. All right, we all agree this is it. And then they're like, oh gee, we can't get them all. This is a mistrial. We can't. There was a misunderstanding there.
No, there was not. See, you're wrong there, because when they came out and they argued that there was nowhere to write not guilty on the form. Okay? They argued that. And she said, well, look, they have been informed if they don't check the box, it's not guilty. Okay, so they knew the rules. She explained it to them, right? She explained it to everybody because they were arguing that the paper didn't have a place to put she's not guilty, but they had boxes to check if she was guilty. Well, if you don't check the box, she's not guilty. It was damn explanatory.
Say is true, but that's the big one. If it is true, we'll have so.
No, they had separate houses, but they would stay together.
So, Judge Wilcott, if you were in this predicament now, do you bring all the parties in and, to Jessica's point, bring the jury foreperson in to get some clarity?
I think almost you have a hearing with attorneys only to determine, is there merit? Does it need to go forward? And then if you determine under the case law, under the legal arguments, that you then do need to have a hearing, which I would suggest she might, then
they will have a motion hearing when they go back to court the 22nd to discuss how they're going to move forward. If they don't have a motion hearing that day, they will set up a motion hearing. All it's going to be is shot down, though, just like every other motion he did. How many times did he put motions to get this thrown out? Right? Every time he did, Karen Reed supporters, it's going to get thrown out. The FBI is going to arrest everybody. FBI ain't arrested everybody. Every motion she put in got thrown out. Okay, so just like this one, it's a Hail Mary, hope for the best, but ain't going to be nobody there to catch the ball. Okay, the jury done went home. So I don't think there's going to be no catching the ball. It's going to be start over, bring in 150 people, take days to select the jury, another 30-day trial, or her walking in there waving like she's the president.
then you have to bring in evidence. So you're going to have to ask the jury. And the alternative, the first thing I would do as judge is go back and get those verdict forms. Right, Ted, to your point, let's see what they say. Was there a misstep by the judge if in fact it reflected that it was 12-0, 0-12, and therefore should have been an acquittal on those charges? A lot of homework this judge has now.
And if it's true, Jessica, if you're Karen Reed, hey, I'm crying foul. I mean, the jury voted 12-0 on the top two charges.
I've never heard so many people take up for a cop killer in my whole entire life either. It ain't like she ran over just anybody. She ran over a cop.
Cut me a break. This would be double jeopardy if you try me again.
Yes, and we know this will go.
It would not be. It ain't the court's fault. It ain't the judge's fault that the jury didn't check the box because they ain't smart enough to check a box. Okay? It was a mistrial. It was ruled a mistrial. And they're going to select a new jury. They're not going to change this.
Directly to everything that the defense has been saying from the get-go, and that they said, as we know, because I was on with you when we were going back, and the judge at first said the form is fine, then came back and changed the form. The jury was out. She had to go back, and she said no, after reviewing it, that she did feel that there were some typos and some various things that needed to be changed on it. So we know that there were issues around this from the very beginning, and
she corrected all of them. She went over all of it.
And clearly there may have been some issues. I think, the judge and I both agree completely that I don't know in the state of Massachusetts if there is precedence for this as to what the, steps should be next. But certainly this is a boon for the defense, regardless of whatever happens next, because we know that whoever will be in the next jury pool for whatever happens going forward, everything around this, doubts are sown from the get-go now going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. In a case that was already a powder keg of emotions in this community, it's just going to explode now. The Free Karen Readers are going to be out in force if they do recharge or try to on the second-degree murder for sure. Again, the breaking news at this hour, Karen Reed's defense filing a motion saying they've heard from a juror that claims that they were in agreement on the top two charges. 12-0 not guilty, but it wasn't reflected in the mistrial because they came.
Okay. So we're going to open the phone lines. I want to hear from you people. Will they retry Karen Reed? Okay. Will they retry Karen Reed in this case? Do you think it's enough with this one juror coming forward and saying, hey, we had it 12-0 to find Karen Reed not guilty? I don't think, me myself personally, I don't think that will be the case. I think they will go through this motion hearing, deny it. They already setting up the trial. That's why they have this court date the 22nd to see how they're going to move forward with this. And they're already promising they're going to retry Karen Reed. So we know, and they're talking about as early as October to retry Karen Reed. All right. So it ain't going to be, I thought it would be sometime next year. You know, I was like, okay, they're going to put this off at least a year. But no, they're talking about they're going to run it right straight back almost. I mean, there'll be a couple months, but that ain't very long. All right. So real quick, everybody in the chat, since we got a minute, I want y'all to do me a favor. I want you to like this video. And then once you like it, only after you like it, don't be damn cheating late night people. I can see you. I want you to shout out in the chat room where you're watching my ugly damn face from. All right. Do we got some people from Masshole? We got any Massholes in here? Let's see. But make sure y'all like the video first, and then I want to see where you beautiful people are watching from. Time to represent your city, your town, your hood. Dolly.
Dolly!
Yeah.
Hey, man, they need to go ahead and get it done, man. Go after it again.
All right, who's this? Where are you calling from?
Big Lou, Carolina, baby.
Big Lou, Carolina. So you think, you know, it didn't go good the first time. You think they'll get her the second time?
I'm not saying they'll get her the second time. I don't know if you've ever looked up statistics, but it don't do very good for the prosecution to have to go for another one. But I think out of precedence and for the family and just for all things that are right, it should be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're already promising they're going to retry her. It's just, you know, do they have enough? And it's that small place is the whole jury pool tainted. Why ain't they, won't they move it out of there?
Yeah. I mean, that is in the judicial system and high profile now, man. It's like, this is going to be the female OJ, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if there can't be a fair trial because of all these people showing up outside the courthouse, I just say, why ain't they hitting a change of venue, sending it somewhere else that won't be a damn circus? Right.
Yeah, that needs to happen. But irregardless, man, you just can't just let it go one setting. A man like that's life, man.
Yeah.
No, man, you got to go all the way. If you lose, you lose. But then you lose, and you know everybody's gonna be like, "No, that was BS." You know.
Yeah, I think you know what helped her so bad is the cops talk so unprofessionally. It's just what they were saying sounded so unprofessional. But the case itself, I thought was slam dunk. It's just the police were saying all that horrible shit about her.
Oh yeah, well, cops are dogs, dude.
Yeah.
Cops are dogs. I was one of them, so I can tell you that.
I mean, so. Yeah, I understand when people are just talking ish. You know what I'm saying? And it's man talk, but you know it don't look good when that shit comes out in court. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So, but I know they wasn't expecting that, but that still don't mean they didn't do their job.
No, they did their job, man. I appreciate what they do. I appreciate the families that are all involved in it. I don't think they got treated right. I think that was horrible, but it's a reflection of humanity today, I think. You know what I mean? And I'm ashamed to say it. I'm ashamed to see what this country's come to, but it is what it is. Yeah, you would think all them people would be out there supporting a fallen officer, but they're supporting some lady that wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. Oh yeah, she's gonna hop from guy to guy, do whatever, allegedly opinionated on my part. But you know, she ain't gonna change. She's a pretty spider, man. Mm-hmm. All right, my man. I hope for the best, man. But we'll see. But I whether win, lose, or draw, they should pursue that stuff all the way to the bank. I think so too. All right, you be good.
Peace. All right, so let me give this. Dolly is for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy. So don't take nothing you hear here as fact. The caller's opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Also, everybody is innocent and proven guilty in a court of law. Karen Reed ain't been proved guilty yet. Okay. Yet is the key word. Also, don't try to be Dolly at home. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Okay. So now I'll open the phone lines back up. The question is, are they going to retry Karen Reed, or should they drop the charges of manslaughter and second degree unaliving and just charge her with the DUI? All right. I'm curious of that. What do you guys think about that? Y'all wake up. It is only 2:30, well, 2:19 here on the East Coast AM. I love my Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Retry her, says Amanda in the chat. I see some Cuba in the house. You know, I truly believe they will. Cuba in the house. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey, you got to turn me down.
Turn you down.
Yeah.
This is Rita from Dexter.
Hey, Rita.
I don't think they're going to get anything thrown out on this. I think that they're going to retry her, and they're going to get a whole new jury, and they need to leave them other jurors alone. They done did their part.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I truly believe that too, that they're going to get a whole new jury. They better get some whole new experts, though, because they didn't have the best.
And I hope that family's got more support than they had last time, so it's a little bit even.
Yeah.
Because what went on last time was just ridiculous. The way them people were treated.
Yeah, but they wasn't asking for help. They wasn't asking for support, but now they are.
Yeah, I'm glad you're going to be down there.
And they said they're not going to be quiet about this either. They're going to continue to do news reports. They're going to continue, you know what I'm saying? So they need to be making just as much noise as the pink shirts. The blue coats are coming.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think that we're going to get us a new jury. We're going to have a whole new trial. I don't think anything's getting thrown out. They're smoke and mirrors. They need to leave the jurors alone. I believe they reached out to the jurors. I do not believe the jurors went and looked for them. I'm not buying that.
I'm not buying it either.
But I just want to call in and make that point. I'm going to get off so other people can call you.
All right.
If we talk about Sebastian, I'd like to call back.
Okay.
All right.
You can.
All right. All right. Bye, honey.
All right. Peace. You know, yeah, I believe they're going to retry her. The family's going to have a lot more support out there because now they ain't quiet. I mean, just as far as the counter protest, because there's some people out here that really do want justice for John O'Keefe. I think they put a conspiracy on trial instead of Karen Reed on trial. All right. They created some big ass conspiracy that everybody in the planet knows didn't happen. The cops didn't kill him and throw him on the front yard. So I don't know how they didn't convince 12 people of that, but like I said, their prosecutor ain't the greatest prosecutor in the world. Maybe he needs to get sick on the next one, you know, come down with that flu and get a good special prosecutor in there to fill in for him and stick it to her. Okay, stick it to her. She literally celebrated in the court on a mistrial, hugging people, all happy, while that mama sat there and had to cry, you know, staring, glaring over at Paul O'Keefe's wife, just being a biatch, right? I'm praying things go different, you know, for the O'Keefe family. I really would like to see them get some justice, right? That would be a good thing. Anybody want to argue that point? Anybody? Any Karen Reed supporters? No. Okay. All right. So still another day has passed, and this Dolly.
Hey, Dolly, what's up, bud?
Hey, what's up, Miss Brenda?
Not much. So you think they're going to retry her?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, this was a Hail Mary from her defense attorney, but they're not going to bring all these people back in to question all these people and do all that stuff. They'll have a motion for that, and then they'll probably handle that on the 22nd when they're back in court anyway. And then it's just going to move forward because they're already talking about trying this in October.
I hope he gets justice, but Dolly, I just don't think it's going to happen on him.
I mean, I thought it was close. 10-2. We don't know what it was 10-2 on, but that was the original word on the street. It was 10-2 to convict. Now they're trying to say it was 12-0 not to convict. That's not true.
No.
So that's just like, the jury, the defense has been making stuff up this whole time, that the cops killed him, the dog bit him. So what's to say the jury didn't do that? They're just doing anything, any conspiracy they can to put confusion in the Karen Reed case.
And that's sad.
So, yeah, I mean, it's you take all this money, these high-powered lawyers to hurt families. Is basically what it is. I believe she's guilty, but that's just my opinion. That don't mean she is.
Oh, I think she is, but I think she'll walk.
Possibly, it might end up that way, but I say they give it everything they got before they let her walk.
But the reason I'm saying that is, you know yourself, Dolly, money talks, bullshit walks.
That's absolutely true. And Annie in the chat, I'm gonna be working on some new candles tomorrow night, probably. So,
I've got to order a gift box from you all.
I think we're sold out of all the candles but rain. I'm not for sure. I know the perps are sold out. I think the strawberries are sold out. But we got awesome soaps and body washes, and so check out the other stuff we got on the store. Just
well, that comes in the gift boxes, don't it?
The gift boxes, we don't usually tell you what comes in the gift box because they're mystery boxes. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be a mystery if you knew what came in it.
No, but I need to order one because my baby's birthday's the last of the month. So I need to get an order placed so my baby can get it. Okay. Y'all can send it to her address, right? If I give PJ the address.
Yeah, just make sure as long as you let PJ know.
Okay, thank you, love, and you have a good day.
All right, peace, Miss Brenda.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm going to be probably working on some new candles tomorrow. I ordered a bunch of new stuff because I'm also working on a body spray, right? I just haven't perfected it yet. So soon there'll be Dolly lotion, Dolly body wash, Dolly soap, and Dolly body spray. Okay, so you smell good all the damn time. So if you go to our site, buydollysoap.com, check out the soaps, body washes, lotions, and it's all made by me, handmade by these little Burger King hands here. But I'm telling you, a lot of people think it's a gimmick, but it ain't. My soap is some of the best soap around. I make some of the best lotion. It compares to Bath and Body Works all day long. I'm still working on my body spray, so that'll take me a minute just to get the right amounts to everything. And then once I got everything mastered, I will have it. Like, you know how I sell raspberry lemonade soap, and then I sell raspberry lemonade lotion, right? So soon I'll have like the raspberry body wash. Spray. So when you can take a bath, smell like it, your lotion smells like it, your damn body spray smells like it. Because, PJ was saying, like, you don't want to do like coconut, take a bath in something coconut, and then spray lemonade on you. You want it all to smell the same, from the soap to the lotion to the body spray. So we're going to be putting out sets like that. Okay. So the stuff I have in soaps now, like the raspberry lemonade, the Captain Crunch, and just all the different soaps I have, we will have that in like lotions and body sprays. And so I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff tomorrow and in the next couple days. So just keep an eye on the merch store because we sell our stuff super fast. The candles sell out in a day. Every time we make them, they sell out in one day. So we've been doing them kind of like drops, right? Like get them today, right? And like just out of spur, as soon as I make them, as soon as I tell people, they're usually sold out. The country candles sell out like that. So fast as I can make them, I've been selling them. So I need to make a lot of them. So if I would have knew that in the beginning, I would have made a lot of them, but I didn't. I've been making them in small batches because it's just me that makes all the stuff. So, I got t-shirts I got to print. I got to make soaps. I got to make lotions. I got to make body washes. And now I'm working on the body spray. So be patient with everything when you order. I ain't Amazon. If you order from me, it's not going to be to you in 2 days. Okay. PJ, sometimes we get stuff out quick depending on what it is, but be patient when you order something because, it ain't somebody else making you shit. It's me. Okay. So when I say you're getting a handmade product by me, I literally mean you're getting a handmade product by me. So be patient. Okay, guys. There's only $1. So in the Sebastian Rogers case, let's get this dude's face off the screen. Okay. I'm about Karen Reed out. Another day has passed and no little boy has turned up. No eyewitnesses, no videos, no nothing. Pretty much a straight cold case. The family ain't giving out much information, especially on the stepdad and the mother side. They're not really giving out anything. They were coming up on YouTube here and there, but here lately, they haven't made any appearances on the internet. Now, as far as the dad of this missing child, he has started a YouTube channel, all this selling merchandise and blah, 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 blah. A lot of people are saying this man's done bought him a new motorcycle. I don't know. I just know this. He ain't getting none of my damn money. We just leave it at that. And hopefully, he does the right thing. That's all. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go in on these people. I'm just, hey, hopefully, I pray to God, y'all people do the right thing. But at this point, I don't support any of these people. The father, the mom, I don't trust any of them in anything, right? And they've done that to themselves, made them non-trustable. So if people out there still support them and trust them, that is on you. But from what it looks like is going on in the whole, I just can't get behind it anymore. Right now, I am Team Sebastian. All right. Not this side, not this side. I'm right here in the middle. This little kid needs to be found. And at this point, is he going to be found? They searched that area so good. If he truly left barefoot, which don't make any sense whatsoever. No jacket. It's in the 30s. Okay. I get cold easy. I could never run away without a jacket. I got to run away with a jacket, gloves, a heated jacket at that. I'll get cold quick. So, and this kid was high functioning. I just have a hard time believing that he ran away out that house with no shoes and no jacket on for no reason. For no reason. We got to remember KP, all right, she said she looked back a month trying to think of something that could have happened that could have made him want to leave. So she's basically saying nothing was bad. They had a great day, and this kid just vanishes in the middle of the night. He didn't have internet access. I don't know what they're being truthful about. Did this kid, if he had internet access, maybe those flashlights were something. If he didn't have internet access and didn't know nobody, people just don't go up to a random house in the middle of the night and kidnap a 15-year-old kid. It don't happen. And if you wanted a kid, would you want a 15-year-old kid with autism that has special needs that you would have to take care of? I don't think nobody was out to kidnap Sebastian, right? I don't think there's some kidnappers that were parked down the street. Now, if there was somebody parked down the street, that was a handoff. Okay, and there's only one person in that house with Sebastian to hand him off. If we're thinking of it in that theory, if there was a car and them flashlights were leading him to a car, allegedly, then there's only one person that could have been involved in that. And that would have been the person that was there with them. You know, the first person that has to be cleared in a situation like this is the last person that is seen with you. And they have not, the police have not come out openly cleared either one of these people or any of them. Okay? Any of them. Now, in the beginning, we seen people attempting to search. We had some people out there, you know, the Raging Cajuns, they were out there. And that, I think they really didn't do much. They really didn't do much. Seth was kind of, you know, holding it down in the parking lot. And Seth did, you know, a couple searches where he was on video. And from what I'm hearing, some of that might have been a little staged. Okay. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true, but when you're telling people, hey, make sure you get this on camera, make sure you get that on camera, it sounds a little scripted. All right. Liz, thank you so much. And then, you know, we had the rudder when everybody was meeting at the rudder. I thought that was the best thing. I thought that was the best hope of finding Sebastian was when all these people were meeting at the rudder and there was somebody there to kind of coordinate those efforts. Right. And, but now there hasn't been in a long time. When, you know, when Seth got hurt, you would think somebody else would have picked it up. And, you know, maybe Chris, maybe Katie, but they don't really seem too concerned about the search efforts of their child because they're not trying to put any searches together. Right now, every missing parent out here that I know has put some type of search effort together for their child. You know, if it's everybody, right? Even Leilani's family put a search effort together. All right. They were out there searching on 4-wheelers. They were out there in the woods. All the locals were, right? They told me. And they did it. You know what I'm saying? They still went out and searched. Well, not all the way. Then once everybody knew, they kind of went out partying. But in the beginning, they at least put up the appearance that they were searching. And I just don't understand that. For a mother not to be, my mom, rest her soul, she would have searched to the end of the planet for me, would have never gave up. Right? And I know that. I mean, but that's just the way I came up, you know. It's just so hard to see somebody not out there pleading, not out there looking, you know, and being so emotionless in this whole thing. Now, I ain't saying they're guilty. I'm just saying they are guilty of something. Dolly.
Yeah, how you doing, Dolly?
What is up? Who's this? Where are you calling from?
This is Buzzy. I'm calling from Wright City.
Okay, what's going on with you tonight?
Oh, not much. How you been doing? All right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. Yeah, I think she knew exactly what happened to him, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he walked out of that house, man. There's no way, you know.
Well, I mean, there's a way.
I really don't.
There's a way. He got 2 legs. He could walk out, but I don't think he did either.
But it seems like, well, yeah, there's a way if he did that. But man, barefooted, you know, come on, you know, I don't believe that, you know.
Now I wonder if he had socks on. You know, that's another question too. Was he naked footed, or was he just, you know, had socks on? You know, a lot of times when I'm walking around the house, I have socks on. Right now I'm wearing flip flops, but usually I got socks on.
Yeah, well, that's true too. That's a question to be asked too. Yeah, that is for sure too.
You know,
I didn't really think of that myself, but man, the way she's acting, though, Dolly, you know, the way they're acting at Chris, and she don't act like no damn grieving mother, that's for sure.
She definitely acts suspicious, but I mean, that don't mean she's did it, but she does act very, very suspicious.
Like I said, she's acting like that in my opinion. I know it's a talk show, and you know, we're all speculation, like you said, you know, you entitled to your own opinion, but my opinion is, man, she knows, you know, she'd be out there begging, like you said. They ain't stepped one damn toe out in the woods, you know. They act like they just don't give a shit.
Now,
man.
is it, you know, if she does know, let's just say, hypothetically she knows. Do you think she hid this kid somewhere with somebody, or do you think she's done some type of foul play and may have hurt this child?
I'm thinking two things on that, Dolly. I'm thinking he never came home from the restaurant that night, that he was switched over to another car. They got out of there with him.
Uh-huh.
But I did hear you say, I think, was it last night or the night before? I heard you say something that they did see him take out the trash cans. So
yeah, but I don't know exactly when that was, because see, when they went out the first time, they went out bowling, they went to BJ's, he got the glass of popcorn, they came home so they could bring the snacks back. Okay, so did he take out the trash then and then they go to Texas Roadhouse, or did he come back from Texas Roadhouse, which would have been later in the night, and then put the trash can out? I don't know which one it was.
That's a good question. Yeah, and you're right, man. I mean, I believe there's some foul play. I believe something. She did say she heard a thud.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't sound right either. I mean,
no.
And Seth even, said out of his own mouth that he thinks,
But listen,
she like maybe OD'd him or something.
Let me ask you this though: if you did do something, I ain't saying you never would. This is total hypothetical. Would you add the thud into your story to law enforcement that I heard a thud?
No, I'd be smarter than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't add that.
I wouldn't do that. Hell no.
Why would she? Unless
exactly.
Maybe she's telling the truth. Maybe. I mean, I know
that's a damn slight ass maybe. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds weird. But have you ever seen American Nightmare on Netflix?
I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, sometimes weird shit that you think can't happen can happen. That's what that bumper sticker shit happens. Sometimes it really does. And like maybe she's like, because she went through a rough childhood. Maybe that's why she don't have no emotions, because she had to cut them emotions out because of the shit that happened to her.
Yeah, and that's true. But I mean, okay, even if that was true, what you said, which I mean, it could be, and everything's on the table.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was, don't you think she'd be a little sadder? I mean, with them not being there, and what I'm saying?
I try to keep an open mind to everything, all possibilities. All possibilities that are out there. I try to keep an open mind to it, so I can say, yeah, I think this about you. But then I try to find a reason. Why would she say something about that thud and incriminate herself? Usually most guilty people don't say things to incriminate themselves. Sometimes they slip, and it could be that just a slip. But I thought that's
what I was going to ask you. I was just thinking to say, do you think she might have just made, that could have been a slip?
I think so. I think so. I think so. Possibly, yes. It could only be two things. She's either slipped or she's telling the truth.
Okay, can I ask you something, Dolly? Your opinion on something again?
Yeah.
I do that quite often, but what in your mind? I mean, just what do you think? What do you think? I mean, just your opinion of it.
I think a lady was put in a situation where she had to choose between a man and her kid, and she chose to do something with the kid. What? I don't know. I don't know if she's unalived him, she's hit him, she went to live with some family, or he possibly ran off. But I mean, it's her behavior that makes me suspicious of her.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There's no real proof that she's done anything wrong. It's just her behavior is so suspicious.
It is, man. And I mean, you got to look at that. She sure in the hell ain't no grieving mother. And Chris, he could give a shit less. You know how he acts.
Yeah, he don't seem He don't seem the most caring person in the world.
No, he don't. No, not at all. I know. I like some other callers getting in there, Dolly, but I just thought I'd run it across you. Hey, man, keep him out. Keep his name out there like you've been doing. I'm glad you're on here tonight, and that's good that you're keeping his name out there. Yeah, somebody's doing it right.
I guess so. I'm trying to stay out of the drama in it and the fighting with people in it, and just stick straight to the story.
But what if somebody ever came on and hadn't seen your show and said, "Oh, wait, what's he talking about?"
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that kid. Hey, you never know, man.
Yeah, I've been doing
I've
been doing my part, and just alone in the views, millions of people watch the videos. So I've done my best to get his name out there the best I could.
Well, you and PJ's been doing a little more on your part. Now, I want to say hi to everybody, all your callers tonight, and all your people in the chat. And have a good night. You too, Dolly. I'll let you go, buddy.
All right, peace.
I'll talk to you, man.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. Like, I don't want to get up here and fight with Chris and Katie. I don't want to get up here and fight with Sev. I'm just going to stick to the story itself. Dolly.
Hey, bud, what's up?
What's up?
It's Rose from PA. How you doing?
You sound different tonight, Rose.
Do I? Why?
I don't know.
Oh man, I had a root canal today.
Did you? Maybe that's why.
Sucked, by the way.
That's why you sound so different, probably.
Oh my god, it sucks so bad.
Your laugh sounds
hey.
the same, but you sound different.
Oh, well, I don't know. It could just be the root canal. So did you, I know you don't really watch like other YouTubers, but Nancy Grace, she had, do you remember Timothy Pitson? Is that how, I think that's how you say it. Timothy Pitson, where the mom.
Is this really Rose from Virginia? It don't sound nothing like Rose.
No, Pennsylvania, honey, wrong Rose.
Oh, you're from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about because I always hear her on the phone. I do sound different from her.
Rose from Virginia. I was like, you don't sound nothing like Rose from Virginia.
No, I said PA. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. I don't sound anything like Rose from Virginia at all.
Yeah, I thought you said VA. I thought you said this
no,
Rose
PA.
from VA, and I was like, okay, hey, what's up, Rose from Virginia? Rose,
yeah,
Rose
I know. I hear Rose from Virginia all the time, and yeah, I definitely don't sound like her at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, you don't sound like Rose.
But I assure you, it is Rose from PA.
Okay, I got you now.
Anyway, so Nancy Grace had on that Scotty Pitson or Timothy Pitson, and the mother and father were getting a divorce, and then the mom, they were still married together, living in the same house and stuff, but they were getting a divorce. And then the mom took off she took the kid out of school one day, didn't tell anybody. She never had violent behavior or any signs of anything throughout, this kid's whole life. He had to be like 6. He was in school.
Yeah.
And she took him out of school and she took him to like, a water park and then a zoo and like, out to eat and whatever, all the places they traveled to, that they saw them on surveillance. And then she went back to the hotel. She went back to a hotel that she was staying at and she committed suicide. And she cut her wrist and her neck. And
we'll just say unalive herself. YouTube is so funny about that word.
Oh shoot! I'm so sorry. I even knew that.
You're fine. You're fine, Doug. Go
well,
ahead.
Anyway, yeah, what she did, but she left a note and said that Timothy is in good hands. He's alive, and you'll never find him. This was in I think 1985, or yeah, maybe, but a long time ago. No, that was the Cherry Girl. He'd only be about 17 right now.
Okay.
And well, anyway, he's never been found, but I couldn't stop thinking of the similarities because Nancy, you know how Nancy has on all the panel and the psychologists and everybody are on there. And the one investigator said that a lot of people feel like if I can't have them, nobody can,
Yeah.
And this woman was afraid that the husband was going to take the boy away. And, so who knows? And they did find blood in her car, but they said it was from a nosebleed prior, sometime before that, whatever. But anyway, never been found. And nobody has a clue if, they found her cell phone a couple years later.
The crazy thing about that is if she had heard him, why would she even take the time to say he's okay? Especially if she's unalive herself.
Oh my God, that's what, we think similarly because that's what I said. But then I was thinking, man, she wasn't on drugs. She was like a normal mother. You know what I mean? She didn't have any get-ups, you know what I mean? And her sister, her mother, everybody, the whole town, the teachers, there was nothing going. And if this woman had the balls to do that to herself, because she unalived herself by way of wrists and neck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did she?
And then left that note.
She wouldn't have left no note if she would have done it. You see?
That's what I would think, because then, you know what I mean? But the only thing is, like, they were, you know, like seeing her on surveillance and she knew it. And then the last place she was going into this hotel, she was alone. You know, she was with the kid and then she was alone. But she took them, my point anyway, is that she took them to all these places, like a, you know, like kind of like what Katie did with Sebastian.
Yeah, that going away.
You know,
party.
yeah, like that, exactly. You know, that's what I was thinking about. It's still so strange and crazy. This Sebastian thing has me like driven up a wall because I just want to find that boy. I mean, I want to find them all, but I want to find that one. Like, because it's just too much.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree that somebody out there holds the answers to it, for sure.
Yes, sir. You are correct.
And if nobody else but Chris and Katie know, then we may never know.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, like if Chris and Katie, like, here's the one thing I don't get at all. If people were saying that Katie had a boyfriend and, you know, whatever, and Chris is a womanizer, blah, blah, blah. And if they were having marital troubles or whatnot, this thing binds them for life.
Yeah.
If they both know, they are now bound.
Yeah.
So each one of them has a hold over the other, whatever which way.
Yeah.
Because if Chris knows and don't tell, and Katie, even if Katie tells on herself, now Chris is implicated because he knew.
Yeah. Yeah, he's accessory to it now.
Right. So now they're, you know what I mean? Like whether they hate each other's guts, they're going to be attached at the hip and they don't have a choice. That's why it makes me feel weird that, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe Chris don't know. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I think everybody's come up with every freaking crazy ass theory in the godforsaken world.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
You know what I
even
mean?
Me, even me, I've come up with some crazy ones. I just don't.
So have I.
Just don't know.
In my own head.
All right. Well, hey, look, I appreciate you calling in and chopping it up. You be good.
All right. You too.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right. We got Dawn in the chat. She has been a member for 18 months. Damn. That is a long time to look at this face. 18 months. Just keep your prayers alive, you know, out there. You know, miracles happen in this world. I think at this point to find Sebastian Rogers, that's what would have to happen is a miracle. A child on his own, no shoes, no money, no way to really survive. If he truly don't have any friends, he couldn't make it out there. You know, how long could he make it before he met his demise? And it's just surprising he didn't turn up nowhere, try to go anywhere for food or, you know, go into a convenience store or nothing. He has just vanished off the planet. That don't sound normal. Right by his house is no large bodies of water. I mean, there's some water, but no large bodies of water right there near his house. There's little ponds, there's little, you know, retention ponds, there's big ditches with water in it, but there's nothing really significant enough that, you know, he's done washed up down a damn river somewhere. Could he walk to a river? I'm assuming he could, but why would you run away and walk to a river? And, you know, why would he go hurt himself? You know, he never showed signs, or I've never heard anybody say anything about Sebastian Rogers wanting to hurt himself, right? They never talked about him being depressed and sad. They did say he wanted a friend. You know, that's pretty kind of depressing, you know, thinking you lonely. I'm sure that comes with a little depression, being lonely. You know, like, damn, I wish I wasn't lonely. So maybe he had, you know, he wasn't happy. I hope that ain't the case. And he's went and did something to himself and nobody's responsible. And Katie's telling the truth that she heard a thud and this and that. And he was gone. It don't really explain why she's emotionless, but maybe her child, we know her child had with her mama. Maybe that's why she's so emotionless. Maybe she ain't full of shit. I don't know. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
It's Rita calling you back from Dexter.
Okay, Rita.
I just wanted to get my call in.
Okay, you can go.
Yeah. I think that the only two people that know what really happened to him is Katie and Chris.
Uh-huh.
And I think that the reason that they're not looking is because they know they're not going to go out and look. And I think Seth knows, but he's so blinded by his love for Katie that he don't want to believe she'd do anything wrong. Or he wants to believe, you know, that she wouldn't hurt their kid.
I don't know, because when he told that lie detector test, he told them that he thought she gave him too much medicine and he unalive. So I think Seth will believe that Katie will do something, but maybe accidentally. Maybe he don't believe she would do something on purpose. Because the only time I really seen Seth really break a real tear is when he was talking about him and Katie being married.
Yeah. Yeah, he's so busy in the past, he's not looking at the future, you know, and the all the poor decisions and everything that he has done has not helped any of this with finding Sebastian. And I think that the two people that know are Katie and Chris beyond a shadow of a doubt. They know.
I just hope I hope he really didn't go buy him a bike and give that girl money. I hope that really ain't true. I hope that's just internet rumors.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping that they did pass him off to a family member and he's just somewhere, you know, and he's okay.
I mean,
I'm hoping that.
It looks like they don't have, you know, I can tell you now, Katie's family members are my neighbors, and they've been accused of some serious stuff. So
I've seen all that.
Would I put it past some people that have charges like that to aid and help people? Not really at all. I ain't saying they did, but I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it past. Now her mama might not, because you know her mom was on probation for the rest of her damn life.
Yeah, she can't get in no trouble.
And
I would believe more that the Bowerstocks have done something, to be honest. Allegedly, that's what I would believe.
I would too, because your family's in so much trouble. I don't think they're going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
No,
they'd try to be laid low if I was them, to stay out of prison for the rest of my life.
Now, I don't know if you've heard this rumor. Now, I don't even know if this is true. This is just a rumor. Might want to throw out your little thing. But the rumor is that Chris has some deep friends in the police department. I guess the sister works over there.
I mean, I've heard things like that. I have no positivity to that.
And something about the Bowerstocks have friends in the police department. And that's one of the reasons they ain't been in. That's one of the reasons that they ain't even been arrested on clear-cut child abuse charges. You know, and they've all admitted child abuse. I believe if they would arrest them on the child abuse, somebody would start snitching.
Maybe. I think so. You know, here they would have hit Katie with child neglect here, and they would have probably got hit with the abuse, because we know CPS was called, but we just don't know what they were called over. And they don't come. They don't come for just nothing. It needs to be something. They believe the child is in immediate threat of danger for them to even show up.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, especially in Tennessee, they don't come out unless they believe there's some type of abuse or neglect in that home.
Yep, that's absolutely true. So, and then, you know, we have multiple cases where child abuse, CPS, DCS, whatever it is in that state, you know, in other states, they've been called and kids come up missing too.
Yeah.
You know,
and every time there's a body in Tennessee,
Montgomery, CPS was called. She came up missing. Summer Wells, CPS called. She came up missing. Sebastian Rogers, CPS called. He comes up missing. It's a common occurrence.
And that's another thing I say. DCFS, Department of Children and Family Services, whatever they call themselves down there, they should have gotten involved way before they did. Children should have been removed, and none of us would be having these conversations today, especially with Summer Wells. They should have removed that child from that home long before she went missing. And I'm sorry, and something should have been done about Sebastian's situation out in wherever it was, California, when all that mess happened out there.
And another thing is, you know, to have a situation like this and then put another child into that same environment, without knowing
Oh,
what happened, why this is an open investigation. I just did not think that was a good move from the court system. But that's my opinion. You know, the courts can do
It
whatever they
wasn't.
want.
It was a terrible decision of the court to make that decision and put that child in harm's way. I'm concerned about Katie having faith. I'm sorry. I'm concerned about her having that child. I don't think she should have anybody's child. I think Katie needs to go get some counseling, and she needs to fess up as to what really went on with Sebastian. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think, what is she so scared of? The public's gonna what, rip her head off through the TV? You know what I'm saying? Like,
the public is already ripping her head off through the TV.
Yeah, so
I don't know
why,
what she's so scared of.
Yeah, so why not just
You know.
come out and beg for your kid's return? And I mean, if she was doing these things, I don't think she would have so many people suspect of her. It's her actions that's making everybody think she's a suspect. Her behavior. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no proof to anything. It's just the way she's acting, and that's what everybody's judging her off of.
The last time she spoke, all she did was laugh and talk about Coke and cake pops.
Yeah, I mean,
she was having such a good old time. She sure wasn't even. And like Seth the other night. Oh my God, what were they doing? Baby pictures and talking about not made us think. We all thought, oh wow, we're going to find out something new about the case. No, what we see, nonsense. Tony, who shouldn't even be involved in this case. Yeah. I can't get over that.
Yeah.
He needs to go. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. My opinion alone. You can read your disclaimer or whatever. That is my opinion. Tony needs to go bye-bye. Him and Betty could have did that by their darn selves and not had Tony there, and none of that would have went the way it went. And I'm sorry, you were smart. One click and view. No, they don't need all the... No. This is all for money. They need to get off the money scheme and start looking for this boy.
All right. It was good talking to you. You be good.
All right. All right. Bye.
All right. Just like me throw my next disclaimer out. Dolly Vision for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy. Don't take nothing as fact. Callers' opinions, theirs alone. All right. I'm just doing that. You're innocent and proven guilty. So, yeah. You know, I didn't think there was much that came out, you know, as far as the update. I just titled my stuff to Circus because, you know, it's the same news. It's been the same news, honestly, guys, since the day he went missing. Okay, except for when the lights came out. That was the only thing that was really news. For the most part, YouTubers are covering the circus of it, you know, and going back and forth with each other over it and stuff like that. I'm not doing that with people. Like, I don't really want to get up here and fight with people and argue with people. I just want people to do the right thing, okay, in this case. Now, he may need money. If you're using money for the right thing, I don't know. But, you know, the rumors on the internet, do you believe them? Do you not believe them? You know, I know at one point this man said he was trying to borrow a bike for the bike rally, and then it comes to find out he has a bike, but he didn't drive it. So magically, there's now a motorcycle in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Motorcycles, mortgage payments, and I don't know if it's true, but it makes me weary of wanting to help anything like that, you know, because there's no reward for Sebastian. You know, maybe if some of these people sold their Harleys, we could get a reward for this kid, you know, but I don't know if that's happening, and I don't know where everything's going. There's not a whole lot of transparency in any of it, right? I just pray they do the right things. Dolly.
Hey there, Dolly.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
This is Jen from Utah.
Hey, Jen.
How are you?
What's going on?
Well, you know, it seems so weird that people are, you know, going over and over and over these interviews with Katie and Chris. You know, to, you know, find you know, all these mistakes that they've made, you know, tripping up on their interviews.
I've heard them misspeak a few times or lie, however you want to say it. Misspoke, lied.
Yeah, every time from the first day I've watched this from you. You know, I it's when I called in and said that they were both pathological liars, narcissistic. I mean, just.
I don't know enough about Katie to say what Katie is. She hasn't given.
Oh, I know exactly what Katie is.
Chris, I know what kind of dude Chris is. I ran across a million Chris's, but Katie hasn't given me enough yet to really lock in on Katie. I haven't got a vibe from her. Like I get a cold vibe, but I just don't know. I ain't been able to really lock in on her. If she would have said more, if she'd have gave more interviews, I'd have been able to come to a conclusion, but I really don't really know what to think about Katie right now.
Well, that's just it. You know, the less said, the less known.
I know, and that makes it hard. That's what I'm saying. And I think they know that the more she says, the worse it's going to be on her. But again, the more she says, the better it could be on her, because people could start to go, okay, maybe she ain't lying. Okay, that makes sense, and she could clear some things up. So it could work either way, I think.
Well, I'll tell you, her carrying around, Faith's child is not going to make her look like the Madonna.
Oh, I know, but she didn't know people were taking pictures either. You know what I'm saying? Do you expect people to be taking pictures of you at church? No, that's probably not the best place to be taking pictures of people.
Well,
it was a judgmental picture too. And what does it say in the Bible? You shouldn't judge, right? But you in church judging this lady taking pictures. I mean, he only took the picture because she was judging her as the killer, or that she did something to her son. And I don't know what Christian lady that was, but that wasn't very Christian-like.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, how many times does Katie go to church?
I don't know. I don't know.
Think about that. Is that like her first time she went? She had to take that baby.
She may need some Jesus. If she did what everybody thinks she did, if she did everything everybody thinks she did, she better be talking to Jesus. She better be talking to Jesus and a lawyer. I'd start with Jesus first. Right? You better make right with God. You better do something, and then I call a lawyer.
Well,
but to make right with God, you got to be honest, Katie. Right? You can't lie. You can't lie to God. He knows.
Well, yeah, He sees all. Every damn thing you do.
Mm-hmm. He likes Santa Claus.
And he's not going to be that forgiving. Not on what they did. And that's how you can tell somebody's lying too. Especially that stinking Chris. The way he laughs and smirks through it all.
Or he just didn't care. Like he didn't care.
Yeah.
I ain't saying he did anything, but he might also be glad that the kid's gone.
Oh, I'm sure.
And his alibi is pretty solid. I mean, I think it would be easy for the police to find out, hey, was you here? Unless he had another vehicle. But I'm sure they would have looked for his truck. Matter of fact, I watched the story the other night, and this is a prime example. This dude had drove and killed his mama. Okay. He really had no reason to kill his mama. They still don't know why he killed his mama, but he lived in another state and he drove his vehicle through the state and he went and killed his mama. They had him on camera leaving, but they couldn't make him out in the camera. But he had his mama's dog with him, and the dog wasn't on a leash. Mm-hmm. They were like, okay, this lady gots to know who killed her, because the dog is walking with the killer freely, like it knows the killer.
Mm-hmm.
So the son, lied, said he wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. But when you're driving down the interstate, they got these license plate readers now that read your license plates.
Yeah.
So they picked him up in multiple states, and he said he hadn't went nowhere. They were like, well, look, man, your car is in damn, Florida. You're driving this vehicle. You did this. The damn dog is following. They kept telling him, we got you. Eventually he confessed, right? But these tag readers that they got out here now, when you're driving through, they read your tags and they record it and they put it into a big, huge database and they're able to find these damn things. I was like, so they're literally tracking you as you're going down the interstate.
Well, I hope that's
Now
what they've been doing with him.
He didn't go through a toll. He didn't go through a toll. These were just license plate readers that he passed in different states, and it picked them up. And I was like, "Damn, that is some technology there."
Well, damn good technology.
It is. It called his ass. You know what I'm saying? But in true crime, you know, you learn things like that. Like, hey, you take that vehicle. There's license plate readers, and they're going to catch you. You know, even if you don't go through the toll.
They'll get them. They'll get them.
Yeah, and even cops have license plate readers on their vehicles now here in Virginia. Like, because I didn't have my car inspected, my Corvette, right? And I got pulled over. The cop never even looked at the inspection sticker. He said, "You know, this car." He walked right up and said, "You know, this car ain't been inspected in 6 months." And I was like, "Oh, my bad." You know what I'm saying? My bad. I forgot to get the car inspected, you know, but he knew it because they read the license plates. The license plates is hooked to the state police, and then it tells you your inspections. I didn't know that, but it's these little things they got on the back of the cop car, and they read your tags. They know if you're warranted. They know if you got, like, if you have outstanding warrants. They know who's the vehicle's titled to. They know. They even do this. If you owe taxes on your vehicle, they'll put a damn boot on your car, no matter where it's parked, because of these license plate readers. So that it's hard to get away with anything.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate you calling.
Okay. Thank you. Peace.
Dolly, you really need to watch the Murdaugh trial. You would. I mean, I was down in Georgia right there by it the whole time all that was going on, but I was all up in the Quentin Simon stuff. A lot of people are into the Murdaugh stuff. It's just you can't be consumed with too much at once. But yeah, guys, if you plan on unaliving anybody, be careful for license plate readers, because I watched it. Of course, bring this dude down. He ended up confessing. They had him in a couple different states on these license plate readers. If you go through a toll, they take a picture of you. Especially now. Even all the roads around here are cameraed. Like if you go over the bridge, it's cameraed. If you go down here, there's cameras. You got to go through, because we got HOV and they're ran by cameras too. It's like 50 cents to get on HOV, or if they catch you a picture of you with nobody in the car, then it's probably like a $200 fine, right? So everything is ran by cameras, and I mean they are good. They zoom right down it. I got one I was going through a work zone. And I don't know where they had the camera hit. I think it was in a traffic cone. You know how they put them big cones in the road, right? And this shit or it took it from a I don't know. They got me. They got me for going, I think, 7 miles over in a work zone. Okay, so it was like 180 something. I just paid that bitch too, right? But I swear they must have got me from a traffic cone. They be hiding the cameras. But it was clear as hey, me in the car, the fucking license plates, everything. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly, this is Francis from Texas.
Hey, Francis.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Not too bad.
That's good. Yeah, I wanted to comment. You was talking about Katie and her being cold.
Uh-huh.
I think, because of her childhood, I think she would come off cold.
I think so, too. If it's rumored what happened to her really happened to her at the hands of the people, allegedly that this is, what they're saying, then hell yeah, that would scar you for a long, long time.
But there's a difference between being cold and being uncaring.
Yeah, but if you think about you had to suppress all those feelings and scars that she went through as a child.
Yeah, I wasn't sexually assaulted, but I was abused as a child. And then I had 5 brothers. And then I had 3 sons.
Yeah.
I'm not a general, feminine woman. I don't boo-hoo and cry.
Yeah.
I'm hard in my, you have to be hard to raise 3 sons. Because they're going to fall, they're going to hurt themselves, they're going to, you can't be real emotional.
I guess.
I've hardened myself a lot through the years.
I mean, I think when I was younger, I was I think I was a lot tougher when I was younger. I think now that I've gotten older, I'm a big ass softy. I mean,
See, now that's the way I'm getting now. Is I'm getting where I'm being more of a softy.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't show my emotions on there. But I wouldn't sit on my ass and not do anything either.
Yeah, like these days, like 10 years ago, a lot of this stuff I wouldn't even have cared about. It wouldn't even have interested me. 10 years later, I'm a total different person. Totally different. I mean, a million times different.
I don't think she's just cold from that, though. I think she just doesn't care about the situation.
I know, it's sad. It's sad that there's no real
she's not got
effort.
any kind of action. My dogs were stolen. I went out in the middle of the night.
I keep my dog beside me. You ain't stealing my doggy. Yeah,
I went out in the middle of the night and stalked these people trying to find them in their yard.
Lolo's always with me. She's glued to my hip at all times. Every time this dog is not glued to me.
So I can imagine, what I would do for one of my children.
I'm
not one of these real sentimental people that would just get up in front of everybody and boohoo or anything like that.
I would put bigger search groups together for Lolo if something was to happen to my little doggy here than they've done for their kid. I mean, but that might be just my personality,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, though. There's a difference between being cold and hard and being uncaring, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what scars she carries. I'm just trying to give her some of the benefit of doubt. I'm playing both bases,
Yeah, I think she's more uncaring, though.
I think she may know more than she's letting on.
Well, she has to. She was the only one in the house with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're saying there's no sin of him, so how'd he get out? She'd have to be the one or bring somebody in.
I mean, there's a lot of questions. Why ain't you parking in the garage now? Why are the lights on the house on now? Wasn't on the house then? Why was the house so? I have a million questions. Why?
Right.
And the one big question, is Chris was accused of something by the CPS. What was that? Why won't they say what that is?
Yeah, that's strange too.
I mean, he openly says he whipped them, so it has to be something worse than that. And I don't know what it is. It's always made me sketchy of them.
Yeah.
So.
That's kind of.
But it's been 4 months, and the police ain't got nothing on them yet. So.
I just think they know and that they've done something. I don't know whether it was accidental or but I think they've done something to him. They just don't care.
I mean, it just seems so crazy that people with such a good life, right? They got nice house, nice things, good jobs, that they would take a chance of throwing all that away to hurt their kid. I've tried to think of a million ways to think they're innocent, but I always come back to Katie was there.
Especially when he was supposed to go with Seth at the end of the summer.
Yeah, but that might have been the catalyst. Like, if I can't have him, you can't, because it wasn't. Katie didn't want him to go with Seth. Chris wanted him to go with Seth.
Yeah, I remember hearing them talk about that. That Seth said that Chris was supposed to be getting it right, fixed with Katie, so that
now
he could get her.
I heard people say, Dolly, what do you think about Chris and Seth being in this together? And then I would be like, that is the weirdest thing ever, but it ain't impossible. I mean, we're throwing theories out there. I mean, there is the possibility that could be something to that. You know what I'm saying? Because Chris was the one trying to get him to go there, and he was already in communications with Seth. And I'm like, I don't know about that theory.
Seth did say he was working on that. Chris was working on Katie so that he'd be allowed to come there.
Yeah. So that was a Chris, and all that Sebastian go there was cooked up by Chris and Seth.
Yeah.
So
that makes you think maybe she hit him out somewhere.
Maybe. I mean, that would be the miracle. I would rather it be that than he actually is out there hurt or unalived or something like that. Hey, but look, hey, I appreciate you calling in.
All right, I appreciate your time.
All right, peace.
You have a good evening. Night, peace.
Dolly.
Hi, Dolly. This is Sarah from California.
Hey, Sarah.
And I just wanted to chime in about what they were saying about Chris and Seth having that plan to have Sebastian come live with him.
Yeah.
I think that the CPS report is what shifted that. I think that Chris was going to get in trouble because he had done something to Sebastian.
Possibly.
And that's why the wheels started changing. He really worked on Katie being the narcissist that he is to get her to do something to him. Because he didn't want to go to jail. He didn't want to get in trouble for hurting that boy.
Uh-huh.
And I think it all stems around faith.
But my
too,
whole thing is
because
this, is if she went through all that with him for 14 years, 15 years, why would she want to get rid of him now when she did the hardest part when he was small?
I don't think she did want to get with him. I think she was being domineered by Chris because he was going to go to jail.
Uh-huh.
That CPS report was going to get him thrown in jail once they really got to investigate it. And I think he just told her, you need to do something or you're going to lose me. I'm either going to go to jail or...
I wonder if CPS is going to continue to investigate it even though Sebastian is not there. Do they just stop the investigation?
How could they? He's gone.
Yeah, I guess if they never got to talk to him.
I don't know if they ever got to talk to him.
But they would still have the report of what he was accused of.
If he told everything to the teacher. I mean, it was probably the teacher from the school that reported it.
Yeah.
And I'm a teacher here in California.
Yeah,
so we're not really supposed to investigate. We just ask them a few questions just to get the gist, and then we have to report.
Yeah, it's a law.
So we don't really
report it. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really try to dig into the story. We just get what we can, and once we know that we have something that we needed to report, we stop that conversation.
Yeah, and we know that Sebastian went to his teacher on Seth.
Right, exactly.
So something probably happened to him, and he most likely went to his teacher on Chris.
Correct, and she can only say so much to get information from him because we are told not to investigate. We ask him questions enough to find out.
And me, this is just my opinion. He don't seem like the type of guy that's going to hit you one time with a belt.
No,
like he said.
doesn't.
Now, if he looked like he might whip his ass with a belt, and I think hit him more than one time. But that's just my opinion because he comes off that way. But I could be totally wrong. But I just feel like he was whipping on that child a little more than he lets on.
And with Katie's background, and we already know that the neighbor was saying that Chris was yelling at her, telling her to go in the house. I mean, he's a narcissist. He's controlling. And Katie, like you said, don't want to go back to that lifestyle with Seth in the trailer park.
Nah, that wasn't hanging out with Taco. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You don't want to go back to Taco. Exactly.
You don't want to go back to hanging out with Taco. I mean, I don't,
And I think that 3-hour call was to convince her to do.
I mean, nobody would. If you came to the trailer park and then you're living in $1 million home, nobody wants to go back to the trailer park. You know what I'm saying? Nobody with good sense. But if there was more love in the trailer park, like I said, that's what they got, a house, but they ain't got a home. You got to have love for it to be a home. Okay.
I mean, I really hope that it is something else, but that's just my feeling.
Well, hopefully we figure something out. And this I already think it's cold, but I just hope it don't go ice cold.
Yeah.
Dolly,
thanks for taking my call.
All right, you be good.
Peace.
Peace. So definitely the case is getting a little tad bit chilly, okay? Tad bit chilly in this case. And I ain't talking about the weather. I'm talking about just the information, I don't think the cops are making any more major pushes unless there's some credible leads that come in. And they said they've checked every lead, but nothing has came back with any. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Am I on the air?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Missy. I live in Missouri.
Hey, Missy.
And I just wanted to say thank you for all the work you do for the children.
Oh, it ain't no big deal.
I wanted to say thank you for something very special to me. My son passed away 3 months ago.
I'm sorry to
And
hear
every night, you have been my savior. I watch you every night. It keeps my mind off of it.
that.
I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much.
Oh, it ain't no problem. It ain't no problem. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry to hear that's happened to you. My
He
God.
was 30 years old.
Uh-huh.
And, but you have been keeping my mind off of it. And, it's just you've been a godsend to me, and I wanted to tell you thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad I could occupy your mind a little bit for you. I know you're going through a tough time. Nothing I can say can make you feel better. I wish there was something I could say. Only time will make you feel, it won't heal the wounds, but it'll make the pain,
Right.
wounds a little less painful.
But it's less painful, like when I have you watching and you have me laughing my butt off.
Yeah.
Constantly, and it helps to keep my mind off of it. And
What did your son pass away
really,
from, if you don't care if I ask?
Cardiac arrest.
Oh, Lord.
He had one of those weed pens. That somebody stuck fentanyl in it.
Oh, Lord. I was in a store and they said, hey, be careful with those pens because they have been known to have, I just call it the big F because, YouTube's funny about those words. So it's been known to have the big F in it, and we've had to pull them off the shelves. And that was the first time I had heard about any of that because, you think that it's a herb, it ain't going to hurt you, that type of stuff. And, that cardiac arrest.
THC is all he did.
Yeah. And I mean, I know a dude that hit someone time and his lungs collapsed. I mean, that's why they say say no. I mean, even with that, I mean, simple as that is, but yeah, that is the scariest thing right now is
he's been living with me for 10 years, right? And he goes down to Georgia to go visit his son and his dad. And his dad's not the best person, let's put it that way.
And is that where he got it, in Georgia?
Yes.
You know what? I was in Georgia when the shops told me that he had to pull them because that was found in them.
Yeah.
When I was in Savannah, right? Because that their laws are different. They can sell certain things,
right.
but they can't sell. They can sell A, but not THC. They got funny little things that they do. But yeah, that is terrible.
I used to get F patches. I put it on me one night, ripped it off, and never put it back on me.
So he just went into cardiac arrest and lost his life. That is horrible to hear. And it scares me. That type of stuff scares me because, I think that's the important thing about legalization in our country is that people will go somewhere where they can get something safe that hasn't been tampered with. And I think that's important.
Exactly.
And
the worst thing that they did in Georgia, it says on his death certificate, cardiac arrest due to drug intoxication. What kind of drug? Unknown. They couldn't even take his blood. Okay? I know who he met that night. It's his second cousin. I know where that's murder.
Yeah, I mean, if you know something is definitely going to hurt somebody, and you sell it with the
the law changed. It's murder now. If you tell someone that,
and it kills them. Yeah.
But I'm in shock, and I write you all the time. I don't know if you ever see me. I'm Missy P.
Do you email it to me or Facebook?
I just do it on a YouTube on the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I read every comment that's left on the videos. I don't always read the chat because it moves so fast. I only read bits and pieces of the chat. I read the comments on every video.
Okay. Okay.
After the video, I will see it because I read every comment on the videos after the video.
It's Missy P in a bunch of hands, and I'll do your little turtle because I'm a member. I've been a member for 4 months.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
Do you know I was actually watching you before my son died? Because I started watching you when Sebastian went missing, and my birthday's February 26th. He
Okay.
died on March 24th.
Okay.
But I just want to tell you, I'm very, very grateful. The nights that you're not there, I'm so lonely.
Okay. Well,
And
now
I have to go look at some.
now I got to stream. Now I got to stream all the time. Well, I'm glad I could be here for you, and I'm glad I can take your mind off of things. Believe it or not, you guys take my mind off of stuff all the time. So I'm glad I could return the favor.
This is the worst pain I can't explain. I mean, nobody cares. They're like, oh, okay, but you don't get it. It's your child. It's your child.
Trust me, my mom passed away. I lost my best friend. I know the feeling, and then I just lost
I lost my mom.
and I lost one of
my
my best
dad.
friends just a few months back. So it's been pretty
You
hard.
know, I'm not gonna lie. When my son was younger, he was in things, but he'd been clean for 2 years, and they didn't find anything on him.
Yeah.
So what are the, because he had some scarring on his
Well,
arm?
the thing is this is God had another plan for him. There's a bigger plan for him in heaven that was more important than him being here.
He was taking care of me, though.
I know. Well, he'll be there to take care of you, because you'll reunite with him one day, and he'll be there for you.
I'm sorry, this isn't about all the other stuff, but I just wanted to tell you that you're in my heart. You and PJ.
It's fine.
You guys are cool. You rock. I'm metal. What's up?
There you go.
At your class of '89, Megadeth,
Metallica, Slayer, right? Anthrax.
Yeah, I can't listen to that one other person. That's too. I don't do no rap.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, look. Hey, I appreciate you calling.
Thank you. You have a good night.
And
okay?
I'll throw a little prayer out there for you tonight. You be good. And
his name was Jarrett.
Jarrett. All right. Prayers for Jarrett, and you be good. Keep your mind off things. I'm glad I could be here for you, girl.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right.
God bless.
Bye bye. Wow. See, people be going through things, and I try to keep y'all's minds off of things for a little bit, and it's a two-way street. Like sometimes it takes my mind off my damn problems in life. Everybody has certain problems in life, but some people's are way more. And a lot of times when I'm going through things, I enjoy music. Okay, that's you hear me listen to music. I'm trying to take my mind off of things. And I'm sure a lot of people watch YouTube and different things to take their minds off of things. But whatever helps you get through this. And like I said, you could tell somebody you're sorry and everything's gonna be okay. But when somebody you lose real close to you, none of that shit matters. None of that helps. The only thing that's gonna help you is time. And note, them wounds never heal, right? They never ever heal. But they get less painful to where you can at least talk about it. And that's the best thing, is like she called and was able to talk about it. That was good for me. Like my family, when I lose my mom or my brother, or like just here lately, I lost one of my best friends. I isolate a little bit. I don't really want to talk to people. I'm just in my own little thing, and I kind of isolate for a little while until the crying and the emotions of it all is over, and then I peek my head out. That's how I handle things, and I know people handle like traumatic things differently. I pretty much shut down everything around me, and I don't know, I dwell on it and cry, and just I try to get it all out of me. And then that's when I go face everybody else, and like I said, I still carry the scars from losing my family. It's still sad to me right now. Of course, I miss my mom. I miss my brother. I miss my friends. And shit, in 1 year, I lost like 6 or 7 friends. And my whole crew is almost dead. There's only a couple people left. And that's sad, and some of them to different things, some to lost to medical reasons, some to drugs, some to just, my mom, she had COPCD, lupus, So, dealing with that type of stuff is just horrible, and is a horrible feeling. And you see people that lose somebody they love, how they act. Like, it's the same thing when your kid goes missing. I ain't saying, it's the same as death, but you would think people would have them same emotions, that it arises the same feelings. I love you, right? No matter when you talk about it, right? I can't mention, there's certain things I can't see without getting sad. There's certain things like in my life, like I'll tell you one, a Butterfinger candy bar. I see a Butterfinger candy bar, it almost makes me cry. My mom would sit around and eat damn Butterfingers every day. It makes me sad just to think about it. And that's somebody you lose, and you've lost that person and they've went to heaven. You would think you would have that same emotion for somebody that's missing, right? You would have that same sadness in your life for your missing child. We're not really seeing that. I ain't saying that makes you guilty, because some people are just suspicious acting and don't have nothing to do with it, right? And that could be the case in this. I'm getting closer and closer to thinking there's not going to be answers for Sebastian. I'm just being honest. I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking they don't have nothing on the family. If this family don't talk, nobody talks, we may never find this child. And this could go on for the next 20 years. And who really wants that? We've already got Summer Wells. It's been 3 years. Kids just don't vanish. All right. So, replay crew, this is what I want to know from my replay crew tonight, because I've done been here with y'all 2.5 hours. First, I want to ask this question about Karen Reed. Karen Reed, do you think they should retry Karen Reed? That's my question. Do you think they should retry her? And for Sebastian, what has happened to this child? Right? Let me know in the comment box after this video. And then tomorrow, I'm going to do a little tiny giveaway. I'm going to pick a comment from one of the last videos that I owe, because I was supposed to give something away. I never got to it. And from this video. So if you leave a comment after this video, like it, make sure you're subbed up. And I'm going to pick a winner from the comments on this. I'm going to give y'all some Dolly merch tomorrow morning. Okay. I'm going to be live back in the AM. I'm going to go watch me a movie, kick back, get something to snack on, and I'll be back with you guys in the morning for a little bit. All right. So until then, Dolly loves you. Be safe. See you soon. Peace.